Guys, making more money is easier than making less money. And the reason for this is because as you're trying to make more money, you're starting to realize that the reason why you're making more is because you're solving the right problems. And when you solve the right problems, you get rewarded. So the deeper you dig down the rabbit hole of problem solving, the faster you realize which problems need to be solved first. So you as an entrepreneur, you become more in tune with how you're solving the problems. So that is something that is not intuitive, but I've been consuming personal development content since I was 15 years old. Like I've read Rich Dad, Poor Dad when I was 15 years old. And let's say Brian Tracy, Stephen Covey, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, all of these things beforehand sounded good, and that's why I wanted to believe in them. And it felt like, are these guys punking me? Are these guys just like feeding me the the thoughts that I just wanted myself to believe in? But I started to see every time I skip one income level and go to the next income level, I'm starting to realize how, in fact, there was nothing holding me back from reaching that higher level except the perspective. And this perspective shift, coupled with experience and skills, of course, but the perspective itself, just knowing that it's possible and internalizing that belief, is what made money in and of itself. So I know it can sound like mojo or like woo woo and out there, but honestly, it's real. And once you adopt that mindset or a perspective, that is the moment that you've reached escape velocity from your current level. And let's say you're barely paying bills. That's kind of like a level -1. You're meeting your bills, you're having some level of progression. What's level 0? You're self-employed, like it's level 1. You run your own business, you have your own team, it's level 2. And somewhere along that level of having your own team and becoming literally infinite, where you're shattering all the beliefs, at this very level, you're reaching that ultimate escape velocity at which there is no coming back. You're rich because of who you are. The wealth creation is your being. It is just like you are the money. That is that like third level, and in this third level, you understand the infinite metaphysics that's pulling the reality that you want to live into your external world. And they find the equilibrium and a balance. And that, my friends, is the escape velocity. And you start to feel so excited about the next day because you just attract infinitely. And you look all these people popping off on social media, and they are the ones who are harnessing this layer of attraction that is found within you. This attraction is found within yourself. Like you have to have it within yourself. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And that is happening only when you elevate your level of self-esteem and stop believing the shit that society programmed into you. So reaching the escape velocity, not depending on the income of your labor, but income of earning with your mind, is happening at that moment when you have very high level of self-worth and the people in your immediate vicinity are responding to that frequency, and you're connecting with that higher frequency of the society that is helping each other out. That rich and wealthy people are operating on the level of cooperation. And when there's mutual interest, it's very easy to get along, especially when you can make higher amounts of money together than you would be making apart. So the self-esteem plays the key role because high worth individuals are recognizing themselves based on this frequency, and it's coming unspoken. It's not something that we tell to each other, oh, I'm a high net worth individual. Like, no, it's something that's being spoken. And this club, like, you can get accepted in this club even if you have no money, but it's based on your internal self-worth and the value that you provide to another human being, and also the connections that you provide. So I've seen a lot of guys that are like starting off broke, and then they skyrocket like this. In a matter of year, they go from broke to a millionaire. In a matter of year, because they've met the right people, they've surrounded themselves with the right individuals, and bypassed all the usual journeys that people have, like get a job, have a progression, etc. And you're like, how is this? It's like, this is not fair. The level of awareness of those individuals is higher, and they're figuring stuff out on a metaphysical plane and not on a bureaucratic, linear plane. And they're jumping through reality at a faster pace than what you've been conditioned in believing is true. And if you asked me about this like 5 years ago, I would tell you like, it's not true. These people are like, they're keeping between themselves. They don't want to let anyone in. It's not really true. You gotta come into any circle, into any social circle, from the position of giving. And when you come in and you bring the gifts, people get happy and they want to give back. There's like a rule of reciprocity in play at all times. And the only reason why you're not accepted in this club is because you are denying yourself access. And that is the craziest part, is that your wealth creation, besides your skills and value that you're bringing to the table, is determined by your self-esteem and self-worth. If you don't feel right, you are blocking your income potential. If you are not bringing the healthiest energy to your videos, to your conversations, to pretty much anything that you do, you are being denied access to this social circle. Because as I'm seeing people that are on the lower frequency now, and my standards of who I'm spending the time with have elevated dramatically, I just like, this person's like so below, not to sound arrogant, that I can't affiliate myself with that energy anymore. It's not the kind of energy, it's not the kind of a person that I enjoy being around further. So it doesn't give me joy. It's just, we're such a world apart that before, when I was a lower frequency, I wouldn't mind trying to help that person to reach on a higher level. There's like too many levels between me and that person. And I'm looking up now, like how many levels are there up to go. But now I'm realizing that time is not going to get me there sooner. You can skip these levels if you figure out how you need to position your perspective. Because you can't cheat your way into it. You really have to be that energy. And from each level, from level -1 to 0 to 1 to 2 or 3, like you need to achieve the escape velocity. There needs to be sufficient energy, like an electron, right? You have an electron, it's like orbiting around the nucleus of the atom, right? There's an electron, and when the electron is moving from one layer to the next, it needs to release a lot of energy. So the same goes from you. When you're going from the level -1, you're not paying your bills, to level 0, you are paying your bills. You have to move probably the highest amount of energy to get to where you need to be. You need to give away massive amounts of time, unless you know how to figure it out and to really observe the social interactions and know how the game is being played. But you cannot see the game when you're hungry. It's not possible to see and internalize the game when you're hungry. So one thing that it made me realize, if I'm constantly reactionary in my emotions and I am always in the pass-through mental state, I'm not present, I cannot see the opportunities, because the wealth that you create for yourself is the wealth you create inside of the mind. So at this point in my game, I can tell you, if I needed to generate $50,000 in the next week, and if it was like really a need, all I would have to do is meditate, stabilize my mind, and create the opportunities as I'm creating them right now. Like, I'm literally going to have 3 opportunities come out from this, because my energy is right, the medium is there, and the delivery is existent. So there is no doubt in my mind, because I've been doing this like for a very long time. Like I'm constantly pulling 50K months on demand. Sometimes I don't even know how it's going to happen, but it does happen because of the predictability of the ecosystem and the environment that I've created. And I know that this year we're moving that number to over 100K a month. How? I just know. I know the rift of the metaphysical connection of the content that I'm creating with the people that are watching the content that I'm creating. And I know that God will send me everything that I need. Before, 5 years ago, I would say what I'm saying right now is totally crazy. But what happened in the last 5 years was absolutely crazy for me. So where I am today is actually not that crazy at all. And the more I believe in it, the more it is happening. So there's a connection of belief in your mind and what is happening. So the reason why all of this is happening to me, and not just me, just many others like me, is because of this belief and because of the distributed nature of the internet and people's natural gravity towards things that are good. And I just know I am getting consistently better day by day, because I've been putting so much work, effort, and energy into bettering myself, so that I can come into a position to articulate the thoughts of where I currently am at. And these videos are unscripted. I don't even write these scripts. I just like pull up my camera and I start speaking my truth. If you can't connect to this, the chances are, and if you hate watching, like, why are you watching right now? Like, go do your normie stuff somewhere else. This is for people that want to self-actualize and transcend the level that they're at, to achieve escape velocity and actually have a better life. I hope that this is helpful to you, because this is breaking so many thought processes of what is possible and what is real. And if you firmly believe that you can internalize this thinking process and adopt meditation, like, hear me out, like, I'm talking about adopting meditation. I barely meditate, but I am recognizing that if I am calming my mind, becoming less reactionary, and I'm breathing and producing in a relaxed body, I am creating the opportunities with my mind, because the opportunities are out there and you need to construct them with your brain, with your mind. They are not going to come to you by themselves, because those are the low-level opportunities. Like, they literally fell in your lap and you would be an idiot not to take action on them. But there are invisible opportunities that you can navigate the reality through asking the right questions in the right social interactions, so that you actually create wealth through your actions. And it may sound out there, but I am actually doing this on a day-to-day basis, just simply talking to people and shifting their perspectives, and shifting your perspective as a viewer in this video right now. And I think this is creating a relationship with people that are resonating with this message. And I know for a fact that it will bring more people into my life, and it will create wealth for everyone involved. Thank you for watching Brian Decoded. Over and out. See you next time.